Right, welcome back to our crash course. Are we calling this episode 1 and 2? Not really. Anywho, okay, so now we're going to talk about mark allocations. Very important when you're doing contextuals because it gives you an indication as to how much you should write and how many points you should make with regards to that question. So if you have, for example, a 1 times 1, because it's always written out like that, you would just have to give 1 word or 1 point or something. If it's 1 times 2, it's one thing for a very short explanation. If it's 2 times 1, it would be 2 things for 1 mark each. So the first mark in 1 times 2 or 2 times 2 is how many things you must provide, how many points you must make. The second mark, 2 times 2, is how many marks each thing is worth. So 2 times 2 would be make 2 points for 2 marks each. Okay, so take, for example, the comparative questions when we say, how does source A support source B with regards to something or other? Then we're asking you to make 2 comparisons. Could also be contrast, how are they different? Either way, you're making 2 comparisons from source A and source B. So one comparison is source A says such and such, and source B is similar to that because it also suggests something or other. Could be a visual source, could be 2 visual sources, 2 text sources, or one of each. So one comparison will give you 2 marks. Source A says blah, 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 and source B shows us something similar by whatever. That's 2 marks. And you've got to do it again. Source A also says something, and source B shows that similarly by whatever. So that's 2 comparisons. One could argue 4 references, A, B, 2 times 2, 2 comparisons for 2 marks each is 4. The final question of a contextual for 8 marks always, because your contextuals are always out of 50, and the last question is essentially a summary of all sources and your own knowledge. It will always say that, something along those lines. Whatever, discuss something or other, whatever the topic is, using all the sources, all the relevant sources, and your own knowledge. Do not write one long paragraph in one sentence, I should say. Break it up into simple sentences. You are being evaluated. It is a level 3 question. 1 times 8, meaning it is 1 paragraph for 8 marks. It's a holistic mark, meaning that it's not necessarily about how many points you make. It's how you respond. It's how much you use the sources. It's how much knowledge you put in. Make short, concise responses in that 1 paragraph. Make sure that you're answering the question, because it will say discuss something or other. Let's talk about Cold War perhaps again, who was to blame for the Cold War, or what led to the increase in tension in the Cold War. Answer that question by making technically 8 valid points that respond to that, using those sources and using your knowledge. And again, don't write all of your many points in 1 sentence, because that might get perceived as, not getting the full marks. You might make too many points in 1 sentence. It could be construed as 1 point. So short, simple sentences. I think a rule of thumb is, while it is a holistic mark, make sure you've got 8 valid points that respond to that topic. Make sure you include some of your own knowledge and obviously what you've learned from the sources. Never quote from the sources, and never paraphrase. Explain and evaluate. It is an evaluation mark. It's a level 3, cognitive level 3. We are looking at your holistic understanding of that topic. I think that about sums that one up. And